What is going on, guys? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today I want to talk about something on the positive side. This whole week has been really negative, and it's hard not for the negative stories to be the ones that are talked about. To be completely honest and completely transparent, I try to do the biggest stories and talk about the biggest stories for the New York Jets each and every single day. And contrary to popular belief, I don't want to come on here and talk about negative things every single day. When that's the popular discussion points, that's unfortunately is going to come up. I can't just come on here and try to positive spin everything. When I started this channel, I wanted it to be my honest and true reaction. And yes, I'm a Jets fan and I cover things through the eye of a Jets fan, but I'm not going to positive spin it if I don't feel that it's actually a positive thing. If it's negative and I'm upset about it, I'll talk about it. And if it's a positive and it makes me happy, then I'll talk about it. I'm not going to spin something just to be a pro Jets narrative unless I truly feel that way. So none of the things that I talk about or do are performative. I really just want to come on here and speak open and honestly. And that's why, again, unfortunately, a lot this past week has been more steered towards the negative, but there is something really positive right now with the New York Jets on the offensive side of the football, which is even more rare, and is something that I really think is important to call out as a major positive for not only the Jets for the rest of this season, but going forward. That positivity was Joe Tippmann this past week, making his NFL debut at not his natural position, by the way, right guard. He's a center by trade, and he came in a pinch, had to play right guard, and he played really well. Some of the clips that you'll see in this video are courtesy of Michael Nania, who clipped all of his pass blocking reps and put it out on Twitter. He's a really good follow if you're interested in film and more analytic stuff, so make sure to follow along with Michael Nania if you are interested, but just wanted to shout that out. And what we saw from him, again, at not his natural position, he's a center. He was drafted as a center, and the Jets want him to eventually get there. But due to injuries, the Jets were forced to move Mekhi Becton from right tackle to left tackle. They moved Elijah Vera-Tucker from right guard to right tackle. And in came rookie Joe Tippmann, making his NFL debut at guard, which he can play. He has experience across the offensive line. But particularly at guard, he has done that in training camp and in practice. And he was put into the NFL and making his first start at guard over center, and he held up really, really well, especially in pass protection, because what we've seen or heard about from Joe Tippmann is his ability in the run game. Because of his size and his rare athleticism for someone that size, he has a lot of dominant run blocking clips out there. He gets out in space and wreaks havoc out there, and I'm truly excited for that. But in this performance on Sunday, his pass blocking is what really stood out. He had an 85.6 PFF grade in just pass blocking situations, which don't put a ton of stock into PFF grades, but it's still, again, just something to talk about here. No pressures allowed on 42 pass blocking snaps. And as I mentioned, this was all at not his natural position, coming in and playing right guard. He split time between the left side and the right side in training camp when he did move over to guard. In the preseason, he actually played some left guard against Tampa Bay, and I thought he struggled actually at left guard in that game, but he looked solid in pass protection as a center in the preseason, and I'm glad that it was able to translate. I know it's only one game, but again, it's an important thing because the Jets need their offensive line, clicking, and it wasn't. Through the first 2 weeks of the year, it was really, really bad, but I thought it took a significant step in the right direction. And honestly, Joe Tippmann was a big part of that. Coming in and playing right guard and playing next to Elijah Vera-Tucker, that is a really nice duo on that side of the line. And I'm not saying that he's going to be the right guard of the future or guard of the future. I think eventually he moves back to center, but his versatility and being able to come in and play right away is really, really impressive. And again, the biggest thing with him was his running ability, or his ability, I guess, in the run game because of his speed and his athleticism for his size. But holding up well in pass protection is really, really important. And it was just so hilarious to me that in July, there were legitimate conversations from some in this fan base about Joe Tippmann being a bust before ever taking a snap in a preseason game, let alone a regular season game, because he was third on the depth chart in July, quickly rose the ranks, was getting reps with the first team. I know he didn't start initially. That was arguably a mistake based on how we've seen him play, but he came in, when the team really needed him in a spot where, again, the offensive line was in shambles through the first 2 weeks, and they settled down and look really, really good. And again, Joe Tippmann was a huge part of that. So again, kind of just wanted to point out a positive on this Jets team and a positive on the offensive side. It's really hard to find those things, but the offensive line improving and Joe Tippmann being a big part of that is a big deal. And I do think eventually we get to see him at center even at some point this year when the guys start to get a little bit healthy. But we'll see what happens there. Just wanted to get my thoughts out on Joe Tippmann. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Once again, I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.